Hey, it's Henry from Boston Manor. Our record Glue has just come out, and you guys in the MoreCore community sent in some questions for me to answer. So I'll do my best to get into them, and yeah, let's give this a shot. Question 1. Only a few days left till your new album Glue comes out. Are you nervous? No. Not anymore. No, I was for a while. I wasn't like sure what people would think of it and stuff, but at this point the singles have all, like a bunch of the singles have been out and stuff, so people have had a chance to kind of get a bit of a feel for it, and I think everyone's kind of getting used to the fact that it's a little bit all over the place as a record. There's a lot of different things happening, and there's been some amazing feedback. Like I'm recording this on Wednesday and it comes out on Friday, but we've already had like a lot of the reviews and they've been like really, really positive, which is amazing. So I'm finally like chilling out a little bit now. This next question comes from Michelle. You guys released Everything is Ordinary as the first single of the new album. Why did you choose this song? We chose it as the first single because it was so different, because it was quite an abrasive song. I think like we've always kind of played it a little bit safe as a band and kind of just gone for whatever the people at the label or management or whoever tell you is going to be like, oh, this is the single and this will do really well at radio, and they say all that kind of stuff, and we just hand them the record that we've made and kind of say, well, you know, you guys know best. But for this one we wanted to pick a track that was going to kind of maybe unsettle people a little bit, and because it was so different. Yeah, and I think it works. You know, it definitely got a lot of people talking, and some people loved it, some people didn't love it, and it was cool to watch people kind of really talk about our music for the first time in depth, like analysing it. But also it's kind of fun, like sort of throwing people off the scent a little bit, because it doesn't sound like necessarily what the whole album doesn't sound like that. So the people that didn't like it were kind of freaking out a bit that it was going to sound like the whole album would sound like that with the vocal effects and stuff. But I'm glad that we went with something a little bit left field as the first track. Can you please tell us the story behind the new album? Is there any special themes? Yeah, I mean, I've talked a lot about this, and if you just Google me, you'll see me talking in depth with a bunch of publications about the themes of the record, but generally it's sort of covering. It's a bit of a snapshot into the times that we're all in at the moment. There's a lot of things very wrong with the way that we kind of work as a collective as a species, and I think somewhere in the last 3 years we've kind of gone off track a little bit, and I think this record's come out at the top end of a new decade, and I think we have a lot of challenges to face in this decade. So I think it's very fitting that this has come out right at the start of that, and most of the record is about what those challenges are, and it's a bit of a call for us to step up to the plate as the next generation, to take responsibility and to be better to each other and better to ourselves, and to make some positive change. The next question is, what's your favourite song on Glue and why? I think my favourite song is probably Terrible Love. I just really think it's a great song, and I love the way it sounds, I love the way it feels. It was a pretty like, it's quite difficult writing a song that, honestly. For me, I'm not like quite a hand up, like a open person when it comes to like lyrics and stuff. So I think that was a bit of a challenge writing that, but sonically, like I just think it's a really beautiful song, and some of my favourite lyrics on the record are in that, and the synths and stuff in it sounds super cool. Yeah, it's the one I keep coming back to the most, I think. How are you dealing with the quarantine? Yeah, same as everyone, I suppose. Like, I'm here, this is my attic here, and I've got like a little home studio set up in here. So I got my records and I got my computer. So I've just been making loads of songs, just doing this for every day for the past few months, really. So it's been cool because it's been giving me a lot of time, uninterrupted time to work on music and a few other creative projects. But you know, I'm really getting itchy feet now because we were supposed to go on start tour tomorrow. By the time you guys are watching it, I'm sure the tour would have been well underway. So that kind of sucks. But you know, there's more important things that are happening right now, and we've really got to do what's right and stay home and focus on getting to know ourselves better, getting to know our loved ones better, using this time to be positive and creative and constructive. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that we're going to get some good songs out of this time. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But you know, same as everybody really. This question comes from manicat_3am. You guys recorded Welcome to the Neighborhood in 2017, 2018. What did you do differently on Glue? Honestly, the whole process was completely different. We recorded Glue. We went back to barbershop studios in New Jersey where we recorded Welcome to the Neighborhood, but this one we also recorded a little bit in this amazing studio called Sonic Ranch in El Paso in Texas. So we kind of split the recording process up a little bit. We wrote a lot of this record in hotel rooms, in green rooms, in, you know, gas station parking lots on tour, and in the little breaks that we had off the road. So this was written over a year through fairly you know, uneven circumstances, turbulent circumstances, and a lot of the writing actually came together when we got into the studio. Unlike Welcome to the Neighborhood, we kind of had that entire record pretty much written, and we just went in and, you know, added the bells and whistles, and then just that was it. But you know, a couple of songs were written from scratch in the studio, like Ones and Zeros we wrote right at the end of the recording process, I think in the last week. We tracked it all in like a day. But some of the other tracks, you know, were completely different songs when we came into the studio. So it was a lot more, I keep using that word, but turbulent. It was a bit crazy. And even sort of, though we've been writing it for a whole year, a few weeks before we go into the studio, we were like, oh, we're not ready to do this. Like, maybe we should just cancel and record next year. And so it was a wild time, and we were also going through some struggles in our personal life and pretty burnt out from touring, and it was a real challenge to make. Like, we weren't in a very good space, but this process of recording got us out of that space, and we're actually in the best sort of headspace and creative space that we've been in a long time now. So it was a real healing process for us, I think, making this record. This comes from Marcel Smolka. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Do you have an idol, and why? I don't know. I have a bit of a problem with idolatry. I don't think that it can be I think it can be a good thing. For me, I think that I have a lot of people that I kind of like, I'm inspired by and I look up to, but I think I'm always conscious of not being too influenced by those figures. And, you know, people aren't perfect, so you shouldn't really idolize people too much. There's a lot of artists that I think are amazing. But then there's the whole thing of like separating people from their art. You know, there's a lot of music amazing music that I think was written by some, you know, less than reputable characters, and vice versa. So I don't know. My dad's a very good role model to me. He's always been somebody that I've looked up to, and if I end up like my dad, then I'll be very, very happy. So shout out Phil for raising me and stuff, and still helping me out with stuff when I need it. So yeah, if I did have an idol, it would be my dad. David asks, do you guys ever think about changing your sound? Yeah, like that's kind of what we've done a fair amount, really. I mean, if you listen to our first record, if you're not familiar with it, we were a totally different band back then. We were coming from, before that record, we were like when we did EPs and stuff, we were like a pop punk band kind of thing, an emo band, whatever you want to call it. And so we've been gradually changing for the past 5 years. We still get called a pop punk band all the time. I hate it. I don't like pop punk. We're not a pop punk band, but there you are. People love to have categories, don't they? But I think now we're trying to just learn more about our music and songwriting in general. I don't think now that, like, I don't want us changing our sound to be like this gimmick that we do every record. So people are like, oh, well, I like this record, but shame they're never going to make another one like it. I think we've done a lot of our like major transformations, like, or our, like, I don't think we'll change that drastically from album to album again, as we did from album 1 to 2. I think this album is a lot closer to album 2. If you liked album 2, you'll probably like this album. But I can't say, you know, like, we listen to so much different stuff, and I'm always trying to like I'll listen to a song and I'll be like, this is so cool. How can I take how this song makes me feel and apply it to our band, you know? But it might be a techno song, or it might be like an old ballad, like an Indigo Girls song or something, you know? So yeah, I think it's more about less about genres and more about feelings and the way that certain songs feel. And with this record, a lot of it was about how what the message was in the song and the lyrics, and how can we best channel that message. So that's why a lot of it is quite fast and aggressive and heavy. Like, I think they're heavy issues. I think it's an aggressive, maybe not aggressive, but it's a time to be angry. So angry music works quite well over very distorted guitars and heavy drums. So that's kind of the way that came out. But you can't be angry forever, you know. Strobelight _ asks, which artists are you guys listening to right now? I'm on my Spotify. I've been listening to a lot of Massive Attack lately. And listening to the new album by Everything Is Recorded is really good. The Murder Capital are great. The new Loathe album is really good. The new King Cruel album is really good. The new Ceremony album is really good. If you are interested in what we're listening to, we have a playlist on Boston Manor's Spotify called FY1 The Playlist, and that's updated every single month with music that we're currently enjoying. So each month you'll get a new playlist of like 30 songs. So go follow that playlist if you want to know more about what we're listening to. And we're trying to put together other playlists. You know, we did one for the songs that inspired Welcome to the Neighborhood. We'll probably do one for songs that inspired Glue as well. So yeah, check that out. Are these ones an inspiration for your own music, and especially for Glue? Oh, I think that's are these artists that you're listening to? It's an extension of that question, right? Are these artists that you're listening to an inspiration for your own music, and especially for Glue? Yeah, I mean, I'd say I'm not listening to a lot of music. Maybe, I don't know. So stuff that inspired Glue is stuff like a lot of Radiohead, a lot of Nine Inch Nails, as always, Deftones, a lot of like on the rock side of the music that we listen to, it's all very like 90s based, I would say. A lot of the inspiration in early 2000s. But you know, we cherry pick stuff from everywhere. Like Terrible Love kind of came from a Cure song. We listened to like Bauhaus, or I'm trying to think what else. All sorts of stuff. You know, Portishead. Yeah, Massive Attack. A lot of things like that. So, but then there's still specific songs that kind of came from an idea from one song. Marilyn Manson's Mechanical Animals album is a big influence on us. An album that we all grew up with, and particularly the guitars, and even a lot of the vocal melodies on that record. You'll hear little bits of plagiarism here and there. That's a great record. So it comes from everywhere, you know. But right now, moving away from that a little bit, I think, or listening to different eras of those artists, I think is interesting. I have an idea of where I think our music could go for the next thing, but whenever whenever we as a five sit down and talk about those ideas and what we want to do and where we want to take the music, it never ends up sounding like that. Always ends up sounding totally different. So it's anyone's guess. It's anyone's guess. What would you do if the internet cut off? I'd be stoked. I'd be fucking stoked. I think the world could use a 6 week break from the internet personally, but I don't know. A lot of businesses would struggle. But you know, I got my records. I got some songs. I got some good books. I sold all my DVDs, so I'll be out of DVDs. But probably do some painting. I'll show you a really creepy painting that I did the other day. That's my creepy painting. This next question, this is the last question, and this is from Chrissy La La La. Nice name. There are a lot of talented bands out there. What is your favourite newcomer? Good question. There's so many bands that don't get enough credit. Newcomer's a tough one though, you know, because we're still called newcomers and stuff, you know. I'm out of breath. I need to get fitter. Yeah, I don't know. Our friends in Wallflower just about to release their first album. We toured with them a bunch. They're an amazing band. Please go check them out. Our friends in Lurk, also another band on Pure Noise, an amazing band that have just sort of started to come onto the scene. Spiritual Cramp, band from the Bay Area, really cool. Irish band, the Murder Capital, they're doing really well right now. They definitely don't need my shout out, but they're awesome. So check them out. They're not very new, but Loathe, UK like art metal band, are amazing. Their second album just came out like a few months ago, and it's one of the best records I heard this year. I don't know. I can't think. But if you know of any new bands that I should be checking out, then please send them my way. I love checking out new music. I spend 1 hour in the morning every day just listening to new music that I haven't heard before, or old music that I haven't heard before, but you know, new to me. But yeah, I think that is the end of our questions. Well, yeah, thank you so much for sending those great questions. I've enjoyed answering them very much, and thank you very much to MoreCore for having me. Our new record Glue is out now. I believe when this is aired, it will be out. So please go pick it up on vinyl from our website, bostonmanorband.com. Come see us in August. Hopefully those dates will go ahead. Our first Glue headline tour. We're doing some really big things on this album in the live aspect. So please come across the pond, not the pond, the channel, and watch the show. We will get to Europe as soon as we can. Obviously, with all the stuff going on, it's kind of hard to tell, but yeah. Be safe, be well, look after your friends, look after your families, look after yourselves. Use this time for good if you can. Channel your boredom, your frustration, your sadness into something positive. And yeah, I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I'll see you guys soon. Peace.